Hi everybody, welcome back to Sid's Modded Life, Season 2, Episode 135 with me, Sid. And I have a plan for today to do something a little bit different. There's a mod in this pack, which has been in this pack for a long time. And I've decided I want to actually start having a play with it. So if I start with the word immersive and then add rail, we will come up with immersive railroading. And this is the Immersive Railroading Manual, which is necessary. It's a book with some steel ingots. We need to make a book first, do that, and then do that, and that will give us the manual. So, I've never used this. I have read a little bit on the actual thing, and of course, you know, from my point of view, there's a certain age, generation, where I remember as a kid having a Hornby Railway set, and I'm sure some of you may remember Hornby Railway sets. They're sadly pretty much a thing of the past now. I mean, they still exist, very expensive hobby, and that gives you a whole wiki. The book really isn't doing us any good whatsoever, and I don't know why, which is interesting in itself. So let me just go and open that into a browser and jump back into I'm over here. Now unfortunately you can't see this, so if I look at the getting started, it says that the create a blueprint book, which we've done. While holding the crosshair, sneak and right click to toggle between the different machines. Currently they are the plate rolling machine, boiler machine, a steam hammer and casting basin. Now the Getting Started guide suggests that you will need a space around 2 chunks by 2 chunks, and you will need a blueprint book, a large wrench, and a track blueprint. So, who am I to argue? The book. So we need a large wrench. There we go. How big is a large wrench? Oh, oh God! I need to get that. Is got to. If that does not form our thumbnail, hang on. Let me go back down there. Get that off the screen. That may be our thumbnail, because that is ludicrous. I love it. Large wrench and a track blueprint was the other thing. So if we have a look at a track blueprint. I'm sure I've seen the track blueprint. Let me just check what it says that there's a recipe in this. Steel and paper. We've got a piece of paper. Yes, we have paper. There we go. And a track blueprint. Okay, so we've got some bits and pieces. And we have boiler machine, hammer, rail machine, plate machine, casting, and that forms very much like the projector. Okay, so we're good at this point. So I'm kind of working with a web page open on one monitor, and that's kind of thing. So the next thing that's recommended is a 2x2 chunk of space. Now, as I was saying, I had a rail. I used to have a train set as a kid, and it was one my dad made. My dad was a big train buff. I really cannot tell what time it is. I'm fairly certain it's daytime, but with this night vision helmet on, it becomes a little bit confused. Let me just check. It's daytime. Okay. And I remember that my parents got divorced when I was reasonably young, about 4, and my grandfather came over to pick me up and move some of the stuff out, and my dad had put all this massive great train set, huge train set, in bags out on the curb, and my granddad accidentally reversed over it in the car. So I had about 4 or 5 locomotives left and some tracks and things. But at the time I was far too young to appreciate it, but there's such a thing as being old enough to appreciate things. So I think we're going to go for this chunk here. I'm just going to use torches very quickly to mark off the corners. That's one. That will take us to here. I'd like to get these kind of spaces used a little bit better anyway, less of the eerie sounds if you don't mind, game. Right, that gives me our chunkage. Well, helps if I don't do that as well. Right, so where do I want the level? That's the next question. Probably here, I think. So that one's all right. Let's just get rid of you. This lot will probably fill in. And I need to do some filling in of the space, I suppose, and get some space cleared so we can start building some of these machines. Now this is going to be an intensive. I'm going to actually go one block wider, I think, as well. Mod, it's going to require a lot of steel because obviously it's trains, but I think it'd be quite fun to get a decent train set. And rails are, for me, and they are a vastly underrated part of the game. I do not do anywhere near enough with minecart tracks and things, and I know other people do a lot more, and I don't. So this is kind of an opportunity to set that straight, I suppose, and do things, you know, to have a little bit of interest and maybe do something different. As I say, I have never ever used this mod before, so this will be a first. And we'll block off these tunnels as well, that's a thing. But let me just kind of work on the space that we're going to work in, and I shall be back in a moment. Alright, I've cleared a space. I'm just making some walls around the place and we'll get it lit up. Now, one thing I do want to do is steel. So we have a reasonable amount of steel. I would like more. I think we are going to need a lot more. So I am going to go and grab some blocks of iron. Make me 64 of those, please. Start. Think we can afford that. Do I want to do another 60? Let me do 100. Let's do that many. Again, how much I actually need, I'm not entirely sure. But if we go and grab coal and make blocks of coal to the same tune, then we can go and get those running into the steel production. I've got some clay cooking to make more bricks, and I'm going to take some limestone, and we're basically going to borrow the walls from out there, I think, or something similar to them. There's actually a lot of stuff in there, so let's just turn that around. Is something stopping this? I'm full of creosote, aren't I? Okay. What is going on back here? Can't see. That's brown. So brown should be going into the storage system, I think. Okay, let's have a look at that. 1,700. Okay, get me a lever. And we'll see whether that's what's going on. So these machines that we have to make for this, the entire mod is ludicrously expensive, but I think it's kind of supposed to be, because, you know, it's oh, I think I know what's the matter here. There you go. That's going down now. And this can resume cooking, which means that so will this, and everything will be good and wonderful and awesome. There's a little bit of lag there. I think maybe we've got a fair bit of fluid being sucked into the system. But there you go, not a problem. Right, what was I making? Brick, and that is going to make me a load of bricks. Okay, I thought I'd got more than that in the system, but yeah, 64 will be enough. Get some limestone, just a wee bit of that, and yeah, that'll do us for starters. Now I also need to pull together, it mentioned a casting basin and a track roller. Yeah. So a casting, let's go have a look at the casting basin. The casting basin is where we create different parts for rolling stock, specifically wheels and frames, as well as a rail cast fused with a track roller. Okay, now to make that we are going to need stone brick. We need 114 stone brick, which is, well, actually let me do 64. That's 128 stone brick. I'm just going to use my loot box here. I have been working around in the thing. So 114 stone brick. It needs 126 sand. That's 128 sand there. This is a big structure. Everything in this is big, as best as I can tell. 1 block of steel. I think we can manage that fairly easily. And then 15 heavy engineering blocks. I think that will make 16 actually. What am I missing? Missing steel. Alright, I just need to empty my inventory a little bit. I've been amusing myself while I was waiting for things to craft, specifically light engineering blocks, of which I needed 32. So that should be everything we need for the first couple of machines, plus I've got some other materials and a few bits and pieces. I honestly cannot tell what time of day it is. Putting night vision on my helmet may not have been the best idea. Item frame, clock. Fortunately, we ain't got a shortage of clocks, so, or item frames for that matter. Come on. Daytime still. Okay, that's fine. Must be dusky or rainy or something. Don't know. Anyway, let me turn that off temporarily. And what we have got going on down here is I should have now have enough brick in this thing here to complete this wall. So what we're going to do is basically going to whack a wall down like so, and this should be exactly what we need. It will give us a 2-high wall with a slight overhang once we've finished. We need to get our tools. From our tools we are going to grab a chisel, probably a spare chisel, and a bag, another bag, and you. And what we shall do is we shall chisel 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. Should leave 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It does. Perfect. So if we then go and copy that and run down here, we should be good to basically double up these walls. Now we could go higher, we could go for, like, you know, I could make it 4 thick, for example. but I don't see the point. It's not like it's expensive. This is fairly easy to get down, and we'll do that. And that's one thing. We're going to have the overhang of the walls, which is going to be another bit, and then we're going to be on these. We're going to have to drop those down a little bit and do a little bit of chiseling. But what we'll do is we'll put these onto the four corners, and if I get the hammer, and what we'll do, I think we'll do it like this, maybe. I don't see any reason. Yeah, these will work as a. That's not right. No. That's better. What? Oh, ow. Why are you being so awkward? Okay. I may actually stick them on the top yet anyway. I haven't decided. So, in terms for lighting this space, I thought we'd just go with these feral lanterns, feral flare lanterns. I need to get... Now the question is, am I better to try and place that underneath? Yeah, that works, I think. Up like so. And what we should see is that these will start to illuminate the area around us. Yeah, you can see they're working already. Now the question is, yeah, it does work. It's just a glitch then. Okay, that is fine. So we've got a design just to get this space lit up and safely surrounded. I'm going to just finish that off, and again I shall be back with you in a mo. Okay, so we've got the flare lanterns in. They're not perfect, but for quick and dirty lighting they work. We've got walls in, and currently with no visible means of getting in or out, is worth mentioning. And we have the immersive railroading thing, which is currently set to plate machine. I don't want you on plate machine. I would like you to be a casting. So let's bring you right over here. Oh, we actually just need to, okay, fine. Stone, sand, that and that. Now, does it actually assemble them? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Wow, it does and all. That is a sizable structure. Now, how do you interface with that? Oh, that's a no. I don't like that. Don't like that there. It needs to move. That's going to take a hot minute to get apart then, isn't it? Again. All right. I need to relocate this. Two over and one further in, so to about there is my starting point, I think. It doesn't muck around with the structures, does it? It really doesn't. But let us get this in, and I shall be right back with you. That's more like it. Now, I believe where's the sand? Oh, I know where the sand is. It's in here. That's probably not going to help. The sand has been picked up, of course, by this. Right, for that, I probably want my building gadget. Set that to that. Then do that. And fix that. And then maybe... Wow! That is a big structure. It's not particularly pretty, but it is big. And you can basically go type, well, we can say what kind of train we want. A1 peppercorn, big boy, all of the various things, and then presumably there's some rail in there. Let's have a gauge standard, single casing, repeat, oh, single casting, repeat casting. Okay, well, we're good. We're happy-ish. As I say, not the prettiest structure in the world. But, yeah, I can't criticise too much. Now, let's grab these before we power that one up and go for the rail. Right, you are currently set to the casting, but not a boiler, it's not a steam hammer. Rail machine, okay. Oh, you are relatively small, comparatively. Invalid, oh, hang on. Interesting. I'm wondering if we've got a problem with these flare lights getting in the way. Let's find out, shall we? I'm going to take the ferro lights off. And, oh, ow, ow. Stop it. Stop. Right. If we take the ferro lights off, then I think what happens over time is that the flare lights decay because you can't see them, they're invisible. Yeah, you can see they're starting to decay here. So that is a thing. Put steel into there, and then we basically go and pick what we want. So say I want to do an A1 peppercorn. I can pick what I'm doing, the real wheels, the whatever it may be, and set it to single casting, and it should cast one, I believe. Anyway, let me just let these flare lights wear out, and I shall be back in a second. Alright, there you go. That's a rail casting machine, or it will be in a moment, once we have hit it with this. It wasn't an invalid block. It was, I believe, the fact that it went either side, and I was just not getting to grips with that, apparently. These are big machines. Definitely big machines. Right, I'm going to stick these back for the time being because I think they are actually okay. I don't think they were the cause of the problem I thought they were. And that'll make this a little bit safer to work in. And let's go and move on and start working out what we need to do next. So I shall be back in a mo. Alright, oh, he's getting on a bit. Let's quickly sleep. Now, I have plugged these in. That seems to draw power constantly, so we might need to have a switch on that. However, and they vanish when you sleep, which is great. That we've hooked them into our power network. You can see this is just constantly drawing. Hello. This is constantly drawing power. However, let us chuck that in, and that should give us 90 of 108. We want a rail casting, single cast. And that's used 20 iron ingots. Ow. Where do we get the rail from then? What are you? Red dot on the side of that. Where's my rail? Huh? Oh, it's there. Do I pop that onto... That's quite cool. I'm going to quickly get a screenshot of that because that may be... That gives me 10 rail segments. Now this is the thing. If I come over here and go, I want to lay that, it will go, you need 3 treated wood planks and 1 gravel. You can set this how you want. So I want a straight, crossing, slope, turn, switch, turntable, custom curve. I can have a rail bed, non-fill, non-position fixed, or pixels, or whatever the various things. Direction, gauge, standard, place blueprint, grade crossing. You know, there's various things you can do with this. And it'll say I want 3 treated wood planks. So let us go quickly and grab some treated wood. Let me also turn off that light because it's annoying. Yeah, that is impressive size. Now, as you can imagine, these are not minecart scale things. These are, well, they're railway full scale models of trains. However, you can make different sizes. You can make model railway, for example, or yeah, the various narrow gauge. These are all possibilities. So if I now go and place you down now, there's our track. And it looks glorious. He used a fair bit of track there. Oops, did not want to pick up quite that much dirt, but there you go. So yeah, it used up 6 lengths of rail segments. So to build anything, we're going to have to do a lot of work over here with this wee beastie, and then obviously you can go when we say we want we'll do a peppercorn wheel, for example. Cast 1. I don't know how. Wait. Okay, there's our wheel. I don't know what we do with it, but there's our wheel. And of course, if you don't want to use it, what you do is you chuck it back in. And that's pretty much it. Front wheel, wheel frame, bogie front. So I'm going to have to assume that that uses something. Then you've got the frame itself. Now this is all new to me, as you can probably guess, and there's an awful lot of bits we want to do. So then you've got the coaches, you can build those. You've got, what trains have we got? Big Boy, Iron Duke, the Firefly, there's a Electromotive, there's no idea, that looks like it's I don't know whether it's fueled by coal or what, but oh, and the hand car. So we can't even make a hand car, which is, yeah, it's going to be interesting. it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. In the meantime, we shall put you on to active with redstone signal, and I think we shall go and grab a lever. Let me just have a quick peek at a few bits and pieces, work out what else we need, if any, well, I'm to try and work out what else we need, and I shall be back with you in a moment. Alright, we're nearly on this episode, but I've done a little bit of research, and what we need to do next, just to get started, is make some more metal. And the suggestion is to lay down 2 lengths of track. So what I'm going to do is position myself nicely here in the middle, and we'll go there and there. In fact, let's have 3 lengths if we can get them in. Let's have a look. Can we? Yeah, why not? So we've got the track down the middle, and then what it suggests is we're going to do a peppercorn. So we're going to go for a peppercorn, and we want a peppercorn frame, and we'll do a single casting. They always take damage off of the edges. Definitely some impact going on there. Wow, that is taking a lot of the steel. We're going to need to. That was 10 blocks of steel gone through, by the way, in very short order, but apparently we should be able to place the frame of the train, which, as you can see, looks somewhat odd. So blah blah blah, peppercorn frame will list out these 2 cylinders. So with a large wrench in hand, right click the frame. So it needs 1 steam chest. Blah blah blah. Now, don't need another machine until we get to the point of creating a firebox and boiler. So it needs a steam chest. Alright, can we make the steam chest with this, or are we into probably steam chest requires 14, hasn't got enough steel. Let me go and grab a stack of steel blocks, and we'll try and take this a little bit further, and then before we get to the next machine, I think. But then it's going to be interesting, because we're going to need to build this a railway like this, which is going to be massive. I'm going to stick half a stack of steel blocks in. I think that's a reasonably ludicrous amount of steel to throw into a we can cast them back out, so it's not a problem. But there you go. Have some of that. Wow. Have some of that. Okay. Right. So now we want to do a single cast. 14 of those. List out. Okay. So as they complete, you basically need to come over here and go and pop that on, and then you get your wrench, and it says we now need 1 bogie front, 3 wheel drivers. We need to sleep. Boop. Again, we're fairly safe here, but you know, I'd rather not get blown up. Not while there's all this steel. What did we say? Oh, we're down to 0 radiation. That's nice. 1 bogie front. Cast it. Plob. There's our bogie front. 3 wheel drivers, 1 frame wheel, and 2 bogie front wheel. Okay, so bogie front wheel, cast it, and we'll set it doing another cast. So we should be able to pop those on. can't remember what else he said. Hang on. 1 frame wheel. And 3 driver wheels. Oh, we don't actually have to go up. Okay, that's handy. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Okay. So we've got our frame wheel. And 1, 2, 3 driver wheels. This is actually pretty cool. Annoying. 3 side rods, 3 main rods. Let's go and get those. So yeah, then you're basically bouncing backwards and forwards. So 3 side rods. And 3 main rods, I think it said. It's a little bit strange. I don't know what this repeat casting will do, but let's go and get those on. So, what? Casting and power hammer. Interesting. Do we need to do something with those? Sounds like we may need to then do something with this power hammer. Or the steam hammer, as it probably is. Use process parts before they're placed. It's the smallest machine. So I think where we are right now is where we're going to stop. We'll come back next episode where we will continue trying to stop with that stupid block, trying to do some work with this. Now I think I may move this over and rebuild and then put maybe some scaffolding or something up around this to give it a bit more of a look. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.